Welcome to the video. I'm going to tell you a story about how I've been scammed on eBay. So without further ado, let's talk about what I bought. I bought this large pipe, which is 24 centimeters wide, circular, about 40 centimeters long, and I ordered that on eBay so I could build some fish caves for my pond. I ordered 2 of them though. The other one has not turned up. I opened a case of item not received. The seller, the private seller that is, not a business seller, wasn't very helpful. Didn't really care, and frankly put, refused to offer me a replacement or a refund, and just didn't want to do anything for me. As far as he was concerned, he'd sent it, it's been delivered. So the delivery notification on the tracking says it's been delivered to my letterbox. So if anyone out there in the comments would like to tell me, do you think this will fit in your letterbox? Because it certainly won't, will it? Spoke to eBay, they wasn't prepared to listen. I said, surely common sense comes into it, and they said, common sense is irrelevant. Pretty much sums up their customer service, doesn't it? So it's been attempted delivery by Hermes, myhermes. And I thought I'd talk about myhermes and Hermes a little bit. Since I used to work for them 6 years ago, the company is split into 2 departments. Hermes that deal with retail, and myhermes that deal with consumer customers and small businesses, and people sending parcels to family members, that sort of thing. Each team had about 40 advisors and managers, and I rated the customer service pretty good. myhermes queues for telephone calls was quite long, if I must admit that, and I did help them out when I could, because I was working in the Hermes department dealing with retail customers and retailers, and you know, quite often I'd deal with myhermes calls if we were quiet, and I'd take the call. Sometimes they come through by accident and I'd deal with them, you know, as I could. But it would appear that Hermes has reduced its customer service in the myhermes department significantly. If you look at Trustpilot website review site, you'll find about 97% bad reviews, which says to me that something's changed in the Hermes company, and I think they've decided to outsource all customer service to India via their chat facility system on their website. You can't even talk to anyone via social media. You used to be able to talk to people through Twitter and Facebook. You can't do that anymore. I opened a case through eBay about this pipe that wasn't delivered. They claimed it was delivered to my letterbox. They sided with the seller, and I'd have little recourse. At the moment, all I can really do is go to my bank, because I paid by card, debit card, and ask them to do a chargeback, but they may not be able to do anything about it, because you know, the banks do try and help their customers as much as possible, but it's ideal to pay by credit card rather than debit card, because you get more protection from a credit card company. So ultimately, my parcel hasn't come, has it? So then I decided to check my CCTV camera, which is above my garage, and it faces over my door. And they claimed it was delivered at 16:47. So I had a look on the video footage, and lo and behold, no one came to my door. And quite often what you find is couriers, when they're unable to deliver the package, maybe they've been really busy that day, will mark all their deliveries that they can't deliver as delivered, pass it on to the depot, and the depot will issue it to another courier the next day. The problem is that's an extra step, and in between that process parcels can go missing, and it happens quite often. But I did reach out to my local courier because I have her number, and I spoke to her about it, and she says, I wasn't delivering that day, a third-party company was covering, and unfortunately some parcels did go missing. So at the moment, I don't have my money and I don't have my product, and eBay is saying it's been delivered. So I'm in limbo here. You know, not all buyers are out there to rip off or scam sellers. Now there's a lot of videos on YouTube that talk about buyers who do this and do that. An example might be a buyer's bought a laptop and returned a brick and got a full refund. Now while there are some bad buyers, I'm not saying they're in, and some people do try and scam sellers, not all buyers are out there to defraud sellers. At the end of the day, we are law-abiding people. So at the moment, I've got a few things that I'm contemplating. One is going to the bank and asking them to do a chargeback. And if that fails, I can take the seller to the small claims court and sue his ass. And while there is money involved in doing so, because this corrugated thing that I ordered 2 of these, don't forget, it cost about £8. It's not a lot of money, so it's debatable whether it's worth it, but I just don't want to let the seller get away with it. That's you know, my point of view, because what he should be doing, and what I have done in the past when I've lost a parcel myself through Hermes, is make an insurance claim, refund the customer, and then get refunded through Hermes insurance that you paid for. Now I paid £5 postage, which means I paid for insurance. Now the seller was so lazy, he didn't bother to pay for a signature required, which he should have done. And if he'd done that, then if it had come and I signed for it, fair enough. But there's no signature because it's apparently been delivered to a letterbox. And as you've seen, that pipe will not fit through a letterbox. So I just thought I'd tell you about what's going off at the moment. It seems eBay's changed its policies, where if there's some sort of tracking, they will literally not refund the buyer, and the seller keeps the money for the product that they apparently sent. But the seller should be claiming their money back from the insurance of the courier, not refusing to refund the customer. Now most power sellers will not do that because they understand customer service is key. You know, at the end of the day, right, I've already bought one pipe from this seller. I'm not going to try and rip you off if I want another one, am I? You know, if say this turned up and this was left outside actually, next to my green bin, you know, there was no attempt to post it obviously through a letterbox and no attempt to get a signature from me. So I could have said I didn't get this and try and get a refund for that one as well, but I didn't do that because I'm an honest person. So ultimately it seems that I've got 2 choices remaining. One is to take the seller to a small claims court and say, listen, I didn't get my item, and because of the CCTV footage I've got, which is evidence, I can prove 100% nothing was delivered. It's not just my word for it, there's a camera to back it up. So you know, we'll see what happens. On principle, I'm feeling about taking this person to court to get my money back, not because it's worth it, not because I want to get one over him, but because I feel that I've done nothing wrong. Anyway, I just thought I'd give you my experience on eBay, what's been happening, and I think a few things have changed, policies have changed, where eBay, as long as they've got tracking information, says it's been delivered. But as we all know, I've been a courier myself. I've worked for CityLink, DPD, Amazon and other courier firms, and just because you put down delivered doesn't mean it's been delivered there. It's quite often it can be a mistake. You might have done it by accident. It may not have been delivered and it may still be at a depot. And I think this is another thing I need to point out with Hermes, is you don't have anywhere you can go to collect something that's not been delivered. Like you can go to the Royal Mail and collect something from the depot or the post office with Parcel Force, or if you do DPD, they've got obviously depots you can go to and collect. Hermes don't allow customers to go and collect, unfortunately, and I've always felt, especially when I worked there, that there should be the facility to collect somewhere. Anyway, right, so in the description box I'll put a link to the item I bought so you can have a look at it for yourselves. But I just want to say, be careful when you're buying something online, and thanks for watching.